you doing? Welcome back. Daddy's here. It's Watch Bad Movies with Great Comedians. I'm Billy Kirkwood, I suppose. And if you've never watched the show before, what we do is everyone here loves cinema, movies, good, bad, but it's the bad we're focusing on, ripping these motherfuckers apart in a way that they deserve. Before we get started, Chris Scott, you love this film.
This is the worst film I've ever seen.
Good! Finally we're on brand after all this time. And what we do is we talk about the films in real time with my friends here. It's called Watch Bad Movies, Great Comedians. And we got some fucking great comedians for you, of course. First of all, we have got the one and only Mr. Rick Mullins back in the show! And then we've got a man that is just, let's face it, dreadlocks and some green paint shy of starring in this fucking film. Yeah. Chris Scott, ladies and gentlemen. And then stop! It's K-Hammer time. There she is. K-Hammer. Right, I am not fucking about and getting straight in to Battlefield Earth. Right, whose suggestion was this?
Yeah. I think we all know.
The court would like to hear why and who hurt you.
So I fucking hate this podcast now.
Finally, we're on brand.
The first thing he speaks.
It's the first time you've been in tune with the audience.
Oh man, like I watched last film I saw before I came here, and I was like, why can't we just do
good movies?
Good movies.
It's a spin-off. We're going to do the spin-off. If we make any money, we'll start doing watch good movies.
Yeah. Also, I just went to see. I watched on Sunday. I watched the Across the Spider-Verse.
Which is meant to be fantastic.
It's the best film I've seen in about 5 years. It's incredible, and I want to talk about that. But no, I've got to talk about fucking Battlefield Earth.
Well, it's your fucking choice.
You chose it.
Yeah.
You monster.
May I fill in some of the particulars?
It's called Bad Movies, right?
Yeah, fair point.
There's a range of bad.
Fuck you, Jack and Jill.
Yeah, none of us have got a leg to stand on in this.
Yeah, Battlefield Earth comes up again and again. Since I've been doing Watch Bad Movies, Great Comedians, it's always been the movie that's came up.
Battlefield Earth in the Razzies. It won its Razzies, obviously.
Yeah.
It also won Worst Film of the Decade in the Razzies, right? And worst drama in 25 years of the Razzies.
Fucking hell.
That's how bad it is. So that's why I went, right, we're going to do this.
Let's not
sit around with Superman 3, right? And then, is this a bad movie? Let's do what the title is, and let's fucking do this. And that's what my thought was after doing Superman 3. And I fucking regret it. It took me about 9 attempts. I don't know what the film was.
I watched the trailer again right before I watched the film, because I saw this in the cinema when it first came out.
Really?
Right, and the reason why is because during this period of film there was some I was dating a girl as well. Might as well say that.
Don't mean to brag.
We went to say a humble brag. It was that brief part where I was off the cock, but then I went back on the vanny again. It's all great.
Much like John Travolta.
Exactly. My compliments to the chef. But we were going to see a lot of films together. And right about this time, during that period, I remember we went to Independence Day, and there was a little earlier.
Matrix was earlier.
Matrix, and there was some interesting things. And you'd go to the cinema on a Friday night to go and see a film. So I was watching the trailer. First of all, it came up battlefieldearth.net, and it made me laugh. Just made me laugh for ages, because it's like, back then you could get a .com.
Yeah.
Like it's I know it's 2000, which is 23 years ago, but you could get a .com.
They didn't want to pay the extra £8.
The webpage is still live.
I'm going to come back to the webpage in just a second, right? The alleged budget. Right, I've got one thing to say about this. Right, the general consensus is that this is a Scientology movie, and people stayed away with this because of the Scientology under. Right, I've got to say this is a shit film. That's why no one went and saw it. It's got fucking next to nothing. It is cliche driven with stupid characters that can't act. Every shot was on a fucking angle.
What the fuck
is going on?
Chris, can we just tilt that camera this way? Everything is fucking. Everything is filmed Dutch.
Single shot. Every single shot. I just got. I wasn't angry when I watched it the first time, and I just was like, well, this isn't good. Hey, but at least John Travolta was turning up because he was a movie star and he was having this weird kind of renaissance at the time.
Period,
like he'd done
Pulp Fiction 94.
Pulp Fiction.
Broken Arrow. Face Off.
Broken Arrow. Oh, fucking love Face Off. I know how silly it is, but I love it.
Do you not think in this film he plays the entire character as like a 6 foot fucking blue Castor Troy.
Oh,
Like,
just no. It's
the whole thing is that
even at that. Look, man, animals. We need to get in about this.
manimals.
So I just want to. It's always annoyed me that people have tagged like Scientology onto this as a reason. No, it's a shit film made by shit people, written by a fucking idiot.
And if it's I don't get how it's pro Scientology.
No,
I don't.
It's not pro Scientology. It's written by L. Ron Hubbard, who invented Scientology.
But like, so why wouldn't he
Scarf-wearing
want
crackpot.
So the
Why wouldn't he want to be pro Scientology? I don't understand.
So the whole idea of it is that the bad guys are called the Cyclos.
Yeah.
Right. And
Great name.
Cyclos.
No,
Sorry,
Cyclos.
I don't mean
Nailed
to
it,
interrupt,
guys.
right? There's a role at the start of this, which is written by a fucking toddler,
Yeah.
right? In the year 3000, if only McFly had been around for the movie tie-in at the time. Come on, we could have done that. There are the Cyclos, and they are bad, and they like
gold.
gold.
Where the theory on Cyclos comes from is his aversion to psychologists and psychiatrists. And that's so those two then become, because he sees psychiatry as the bad guys, that's what they are.
I refuse to even give that fucking fucking.
So this film, there's an argument that gets put around in this fucking podcast that we all facilitate.
I'm really enjoying your mental breakdown, Rick.
I am going to watch all these clips of Rick getting frustrated with the concept of the podcast, and I am going to masturbate up a froth that I'm telling you now. Starbucks are going to try and buy off.
I have the reverse of Stockholm syndrome with this fucking thing. The whole concept is that there's some joy to be had in bad movies, and that bad movies can be fun. And that's the thing. I completely 100% dispute that. I do not think there is such a thing as this phrase of "so bad it's good" does not exist. There is just a waste of my fucking time. And this film.
Dad, Rick's not playing nice.
I really like this. I feel that this is going to end with the phrase "and Rick turned the gun on himself."
It's all right. It's all right, sweetheart. It's the first time he's been wrong. But with this, he is. I've got to say,
this film
there's a
broke me on it.
classification. You said that like a scale.
Yeah.
There is a classification.
It broke me.
Almost unredeemable.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's doing this at cosplays. No one's getting this tattooed.
Oh, that would be cool, though.
No one's done the live stage version at the Fringe. Do not get any ideas, Chris Scott. I know.
got spare room.
I've got spaces in the Fringe. If anyone, I will put that on. I will do Battlefield
Chris
Earth.
Scott's
Battlefield Earth.
one-man Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth, the musical.
It's a battlefield.
And it's on Earth.
But
Tell me more. Tell me more.
like I say, I refuse to hang this film on like fucking John Travolta because it's a shit film.
So
Travolta's going through a bit of a comeback, like we say. I mean, he did like even some bizarre movies like Phenomenon, which no one quite remembers. It's basically he seems to
Especially the character.
yeah, he's some psychic powers and he's got a brain tumor. I remember it because my mum died 2 days before and it made me cry. But the point is, she would have hated it. But
so there's a good side.
Thank God. Thank God.
at least she didn't get to go through it. At least she didn't get to go through it.
Jesus.
There's no
Well,
wrong.
she's not up there. But I can assure you that she was bad to me. But the thing is, what? Come on, she would have loved this joke.
Yeah,
At least he's entertaining people.
Exactly.
We got to move on to the film as a general right. So it's directed by Roger Christensen, right? Who I didn't know a lot about. I'd completely forgotten until I started going.
Okay.
Who the fuck is Roger
So,
Christensen?
the director. Have you any idea who John Travolta tapped up to direct this?
L. Ron
Martin
Hubbard.
Scorsese.
L. Ron Hubbard.
No.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Not L. Ron Hubbard. Not Martin Scorsese. He offered it to Quentin Tarantino.
Oh wow.
Well, of course.
Yeah, he offered it to Tarantino, and Tarantino is Tarantino, and there was someone else. I can't.
Biggest regret he's ever had.
Said Tarantino actually quite rates the film.
I think he's been nice to his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way he rates that film.
No.
I mean, he is also a weird guy.
There's no feet. There's no alien
yeah,
feet. If there was
there
alien
is.
feet, then he
There
would.
it is.
There is.
There's a lot of head, but there's no feet. Nah,
Yeah.
fuck this shit. Click. That's it.
The aliens do have big feet, though. Because
sounds
at
like
one
British
shot, you
porn
see the
upside.
boots
The big
that
boots.
they. Oh,
No,
massive
maybe
boots.
that's-
The kiss boots, it's amazing.
platform.
So it's directed by Roger Christensen, sorry, who never directed anything else. He does have a body of work. Like, he is an Oscar-winning set decorator and production designer.
Yep.
Worked on Alien, Return of the Jedi, even Phantom Menace.
Yep.
So his website is still available via the Wayback Machine because I took the trouble of looking. He never did anything else. And
I wonder why.
I can see why, because it's not. Yeah, but other people have committed some pretty fucking serious cinematic atrocities.
Yeah.
But this was also this poor cunt's first film.
Mel Gibson.
Well, there is.
Mel Gibson is a monster, but is actually a good director. This is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like-
Shall we get into the nuts and bolts? Like, so what is Battlefield Earth? And summation is these fucking giant dildo-shaped raster fucking clown goonies to arrive on the planet, right?
Cyclos.
Cyclos, and they take out our military in 9 minutes. They go, but I'm gonna come back to that in a second. They take out all our military in 9 minutes, and effectively man becomes enslaved. Although out of the 9 minutes, I'm sure 7 minutes was just them taking over Scotland. Am I right? Freedom! Fucking get a grip. I hate that shit. Seeming like they're talking about Russian invaders. Right? Oh, if I saw a Russian tank coming up Chucky Hall Street, I'd just put it in the paws. You'd shit yourself and run into a Farm Foods. Grow up. I've had enough of people. Right, I'm on brand now.
This is a roller coaster of emotions.
I'm now wondering, are you trying to get a slot in Russia today?
Don't phone me. Send me a pigeon. So basically, the Earth, the manimals are enslaved.
That's us.
That's us. Because and one of the most valuable commodities, of course, that they're looking to mine when they're here is gold. Gold, because it was written by, like, I don't know, fucking Yosemite Sam or some shit. So it's a valuable thing. The lead, what we call him the lead. We got to call him the lead is
Barry Pepper.
Is Barry Pepper.
Yeah. Another great name though. That's a good name.
It's a good name.
Who plays Johnny Goodboy.
So
You can check. That is the name of the character.
I laughed when I read it yesterday, and now I'm laughing again.
It's Johnny Goodboy, so this had been planned by Travolta since about 83, and he was.
It's a passion
He
project.
had
It's a
so
passion
much
project.
time.
Yeah.
You mean he was not had? Do you mean Look Who's Talking didn't have his full attention?
In the light of Star Wars, they were trying to do another Star Wars, and that's what this whole project is about. And Travolta had himself like slated to play Johnny Goodboy.
Okay.
In 83, that would make sense.
But then it was. They could, because of the Scientology link and his connection to Scientology, they couldn't get the funding. By the time the funding came through, and the funding is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Right. By the time the funding came through, he just aged out of the role, and that's why he ended up as
Johnny Oldboy.
You
Johnny
can feel
Oldboy.
his resentment about that. I think
Terrell.
that's why his acting, he's just he really wants to
This
get.
should have been me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been me.
Fuck. Right.
The whole film is that.
I've got to get back to a specific scene with him, which is one of my favourite bad scenes I've ever seen acted in my life. So Barry Pepper. Again, they're going to put. He had connection to Scientology as well, but also he's just kind of shit in this film. He can't really act. He's not fucking subtle. Every 3 minutes he's screaming, "Let's the demons!" Ha!
Yeah, because he's like a smart savage.
He's meant to be, but yet he doesn't seem to know that he hasn't seen any of these things, and he doesn't seem to know the name of the species either.
It's almost the influence thing. There's a bit where he put a fucking weird ray on his head, the knowledge ray of some sort.
Yeah, well, we got. It's straight out of the Matrix. As so basically, the film kicks off with you meeting Johnny Goodboy, and his dad's just died. So this is you expected to give a fuck about a character you've just met. Worrying about someone you didn't ever see.
He's not even there. It's
He's
like
not there.
he's gone, and then he comes in, and you're like,
He's like, yeah, I've got the medicine, and like your dad's dead. He's Johnny Late Boy.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Is that going in the musical?
Yeah. Weirdly coming down, just riding in on on a horse down a salt hill or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for no, like none of it's set up. There's no reason for anything.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's very kind of like old Star Trek, you know, like really cheap location.
Oh, like even the way this film's cut, like we talked about, every shot is like this. They have the sweep, so it looks like it's done on Final Cut 1.
There's an amazing review of it. It might be Roger Ebert who says like, and it's because everything is Dutch in this film. Everything's filmed Dutch, and the director filmed it Dutch,
right?
Because he said I wanted it to look like a comic book.
Yeah.
And the review is, it's like someone has told the director what filming something Dutch is, but he doesn't understand why you would film something Dutch. And the thing, and it's so kind of like the whole thing's got like a feel of a bad Edinburgh College of Art fucking student project.
Yeah.
The whole thing feels like that.
I assume this guy didn't actually have that much control over the film. Like I'm just making an assumption, Roger Christensen. I don't know, because you say it just feels like this film happens. So the acting in it, none of it is tailed back. There's good actors in this film. These actors that have
Forrest
like
Whitaker was one of the best actors
Forrest
in the
Whitaker,
world.
who does turn up there going
He's
like,
an alien.
"Oh, you mean this isn't a joke?" Like he thinks this is the pilot episode for Pranked or something. So Johnny Goodboy, he decides that he wants to improve his fucking life and run away to find a better life, and that's where he comes across some dumbasses who thinks mannequins are frozen gods.
Yeah, because they got this like an abandoned mall or something they go in, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like all this stuff kind of sounds like it should be quite good. Like
It feels like
post-apocalyptic. Wow.
It sort of feels like as I was watching it, I was like, it feels like it's set in it feels like it's a computer game, like a Last of Us type style computer game where they're going through and you kind of go, oh, the world's falling apart. And yet, it's just so badly done.
Yeah, because like it feels like that would be quite like, oh, so basically aliens have invaded. They're like, you know, they're enslaving mankind, and you've got these, you know, they're in this camp, and this guy escapes the camp, and he finds out about the aliens, and you'd be like, man, this could just be like really fun. Yeah, this could be quite, and it's just at every point, like usually, like you see the two guys he meets.
The dumbasses.
They're the dumbest fucking characters in the world. Yeah,
just
as
like
poor Kim Coates.
I mean, guys, they've been living in radiation, so let's give them that. But what was nice about them being like, oh,
I love you're on their side. I love that you're on their side.
I'm just saying, I don't think
they would follow you,
dumb.
Kate. I see how this works. They would follow you. You'd be their queen.
And lead them into a pit, and then they die, and then eat them.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, if it's not like they're dumb, they just don't know. It's like that balance between dumb and naive. Yeah. I also think he's not smart because anyway, we're getting ahead. Again, it's the knowledge ray, and he's like, the gold, let's hope. Oh wait, there's a line that goes, let's hope the lead walls kept the gold hidden from their machines. And you're like, oh, thanks for that. Thanks for
great.
that.
So in that, seen that mall, right? That's where eventually, after what feels like about 2 hours, but it's probably only about 8 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, they meet one.
Yeah, there's like one of the aliens
just turns up looking like your uncle at Download,
and there's no reason.
Yeah, he's just kicking about the mall. Like, what's he doing? Was he just like, you know?
I love when an inciting incident just has nothing to do with anyone, and no character makes a choice.
He was just, he found an old Gap store, and he was like, maybe I could get some chinos. This will be nice, you know? It's like a tall man chinos.
He's in there trying to find a hot topic or something so he can get new boots.
But like, how bad is the laser effect where he shoots them in the back?
Like, Jesus. I mean, what the fuck?
It's the guy that did like, I mean, he was on the Phantom Menace. The guy has done laser effects before. And
So do you think they took the money and then made it bad?
Yeah, so the figure that is reported online officially as being the production was 73 million.
So the company was sued over the budget.
Right.
Basically it was quoted at like 73, 75 million. Yeah. The budget was more like 45 million, and Travolta was paid 12 of that.
All starts to make way more sense though, that you know that how cheap it looks.
Now he put money into it himself,
right?
But the whole thing. So basically, I can't remember the name of the production company, but the production
is
company
it Bialystok and Bloom? Is this
it's not far off it,
thing? Yeah.
So it's almost So this production company is almost like a picture Canon Films.
Right. Okay.
Picture Canon Films, but a late 90s to like 2007 version. So
no.
they are responsible for, there's a whole series of really garbage films. One film that I will, again, when I feel masochistic enough, I will throw at you is Ballistic.
X versus Server. I've heard that's terrible. I've never seen it.
Yeah, and so it's the same production company that did that. Wow. Did the whole 9 yards. Did this whole series of terrible films, and the whole 9 yards.
The one with Adam Sandler.
No, that's
no, you're right. Sorry,
Matthew Perry, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a whole series of these films that are like just again almost like slightly better than canon, but not quite. And this film was the funding of this film was tied into the whole 9 yards. So the company ended up being sued on a 75 million budget. The company was sued and lost out. We got sued for 125 million.
But the whole 9 yards was a success.
It was a reasonable.
It did pretty well because it got a sequel.
Success.
Yeah.
And then the whole 10 yards is horrendous.
I love they did a sequel and they just went.
There was a sequel plan. There was a sequel plan for this.
Oh, you can tell. I think you can very much tell.
This is only half the book.
Oh, fuck off.
Man, I there's part of me that wants to read the book because it must be terrible, but I know I will never do it because like this. I'm assuming this is quite slavish to the text.
I hate coming back to the plot because I'd rather just talk about how much I hate the film, right? So, Johnny Goodboy
shot by a terrible-looking laser.
Shot by a fucking Klingon clown prostitute or whatever the fuck it is, and taken away to where he. Here's the highlight of the film. Here's Johnny Travolta, who plays Tyrell, right? And the thing that I find the most...
I love their alien names.
Oh, I love their alien names. And what I really enjoy is the incredibly powerful and exciting titles they have. John Travolta, who plays the Chief Security Officer. Now, if I looked elsewhere, there's a character who plays District Manager Zate. And I thought, what the fuck are we doing giving them these boring...
Just think aliens.
Not Emperor. Not even that. Not Emperor. Grand Executioner Zog or something like that. District Manager.
HR.
That
alien
means
HR.
There's somebody above him.
That's like there's something out of... But that's the whole point. That's where it ties into.
Yeah.
That's where it ties into the... Scientology.
Yeah.
The thing. It's the names they've given them are almost like they're in Brazil.
Yeah.
I just like, what are the fucking chances an alien has the same hierarchy as fucking Nando's district manager? What are the chances that they have the same noses and their heads are a little bit big and their secretaries are just as normal looking as ours?
Why would the aliens learn English on our planet?
Well, no, I think that is...
Well,
Rick,
they're not speaking English.
Rick,
they're not speaking English.
It was actually above you.
It's the thing of, what's it called, isn't it?
They pulled the Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I think, more likely is
Yeah.
day 25 of filming. You're not meant to be speaking alien!
Yeah.
Oh, shit! So, like, I was alright. I've written a scene that kind of explains why you're not. Whew!
They also didn't make that clear at first.
No.
So, like, for the first while, you're just like... Okay, I guess these guys are pretty dumb.
But there's a bit where they go like, oh, they don't understand the aliens, and you kind of piece together, all right, so I assume they're speaking a different language and it's that cinema. But you shouldn't necessarily be doing that because, you know, you're not involved with the production of the film.
Yeah, it's a weirdly avant-garde choice for this piece of shit to be like, oh, everything's going to be the dumbest thing ever. Apart from this, we're going to trust you guys to work this one out.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I think the best example I've ever seen of it working is it's an odd thing. It was Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, that's what we're just saying. That's a beautiful.
It's so
I
well
liked
done.
it better when Billy said it.
Yeah, but it proves I wasn't listening. But no, it's a great. It's how it's done.
Yeah,
it's how it's done. It's how it's done. I would give you a high
but
five, but you're too far away.
But when they do that, in the film, it's a clear. It's not like two different species talking to each other.
No,
no.
It's silly.
You know,
it's right. So,
hey, let's just talk about the Hunt from Red October. Remember that? That was a good film.
It was a good film. You're exactly right. Why did that not get a sequel?
So when Johnny escaped,
that was based on a book.
It got 3 sequels. It's had 3 sequels.
Yeah.
So, well, Well, no.
Are you not a fan of the Jack Ryan cinematic universe?
I'm sorry.
I think Patriot Games is great.
I like Patriot Games, but I refuse to say the same character. The same character being in another movie is not a sequel in my mind. Yeah, I've said it. Controversial.
Wow.
Take,
Okay.
What? Hang on. Whoa.
Please do.
Okay. All right. So the same. So say that again. Let's say that again.
So if it's a different, setting name to it, and it's definitely from books, I don't consider it a direct sequel. I do not consider it a direct sequel. I consider it in that universe, but I do not consider it a direct sequel because even the Jack Ryan, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm saying Jack Ryan. I'm saying Jack Ryan. Sorry, I always get that confused with the.
I mean, you are saying Jack Ryan?
No.
That is what you are saying.
Am I saying Jack Ryan?
Jack Ryan?
Am I saying Jack Ryan?
I always get Jack Reacher. Sorry,
Jack
I beg
Reacher,
your pardon. I beg your pardon. I always get those two slightly confused.
He's the taller Jack.
Yeah.
Jack's trying to reach her.
Yeah, I just don't. Unless it's following on from that plot line, I don't consider it a direct sequel. Yeah, I've said it.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay, James Bond.
Yeah.
Again, I don't consider them sequels.
Absolute maniac behaviour.
I don't consider them sequels. Are you saying that when somebody makes an album, it's a sequel?
That's not the same thing at all.
It's completely the same thing. It's completely the same. No, you've just said it's the same person.
I'll tell you what I'm saying right now. Jack Ryan. Am I saying Jack Ryan?
Are you saying Jack Ryan?
What makes it a sequel is it a continuation chronologically of the
That's
story?
what I believe. Yeah. That's what I believe.
But that's but in
And I've written it in a book that has nothing to do with Scientology.
It is a sequel, but genuinely. Because
this?
No. I'm just going to say Patriot Games to
Hunt
for October because in Patriot Games they refer back to he helped us out.
I
chronologically later.
respectfully, I understand completely what you're saying, but I
don't understand completely because you agree.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree.
This is where we all fucking fall out.
That's just nonsense.
Johnny Good Boy.
Yeah.
Johnny Boy.
Are you saying that?
I believe it. Sorry, his full name is Johnny Goodboy Tyler.
Sorry.
Because he needed a 3-barrel name.
Jonathan Goodboy.
On a Sunday, yeah.
He kept escaping like 5 times in the first 10 minutes, and he would escape. He shot someone and escaped, and then ran into the line of people, and then got re-caught, then escaped and ran. And it's like just a fucking run, not in a different way, man.
The scene where John Travolta can't believe that the guy had shot him.
Oh, that's right. I will not put on his death certificate something that I did not see myself. It's absurd. And that is pretty much how he did it.
That's how he ends up. It's that sort of attitude that makes him district manager.
Well, it is.
It's quite realistic. But that's the thing, like, yeah, because the Johnny Goodboy,
Jonathan,
to his mother.
Not to his dad anymore.
No.
His mum's fine.
His dad,
His mum's fine.
Billy Deadboy.
That felt like a passive aggressive.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just thinking about what I dream for every day. But he gets taken by the Cyclos, and they're like, we're going to use these guys to, I don't know, like fucking find gold or something.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing? And but he escapes and grabs one of their big guns and shoots one of them. And it's all like really lame kind of wannabe Planet of the Apes stuff where it's just like, but one of these animals has just learned how to work a gun. This can't be it. And it's just like, fuck me, it's done so badly. Even like when he shoots him, it doesn't look cool.
It doesn't look right.
You're getting a giant laser off a 10-foot dreadlocked alien and shooting him, and you've managed to make this look dull.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
do you know what? You've nailed one of the principal issues with the film, how dull it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is dull. Action is dull. It's almost as if they're doing it on purpose.
yeah, to try and not like show you good stuff.
Yeah. Then we get a meeting with John Travolta. That's when he has a chat with District Manager Zate. I think it's important to note that for the minutes. Who then comes in and lets him know that he's done a great job, but he's going to be staying here for another 50 cycles.
A cycle is 8 hours.
Yeah, exactly. That's not actually that bad. I'm going to be honest.
It's 50 cycles.
50 cycles.
It's 50 cycles, but I can extend it. I can extend it indefinitely.
With endless
And
renewal.
then they hint that he's done something to the senator's daughter.
Pumped her, yeah. That's what I was
So
saying.
then
Pumped-
John,
well, you fuck.
I did
Sorry,
not
made
know.
love.
I did not know that was the senator's. I personally, John Travolta, would never shag a. No, Tyler would never shag the senator's daughter. It's frankly ridiculous.
So wait,
just
and
felt
did
like
he
they needed
shag her
to.
so bad that?
Yeah, he just did a really terrible job. I don't know.
It got me about this. Like, it's almost as if they were unnecessarily trying to give an element of coolness to his character. Like, but he's a, deep down he's a bastard, but he's a bit of a rebel.
So
I've not read the rest of it. Have you read the book?
No.
Right. Do you know what happens in the rest of the book?
No.
I'm almost, because I get a feeling Tyrell comes back as a good guy. They'd have said it.
Those sort of things.
Terminator 2 style.
Can't wait
Well,
for the
they
sequel.
didn't kill him.
Basically in the Forrest Whitaker was signed on for the sequels. Forrest Whitaker was signed on for the
That
sequels.
poor man.
Yeah. So was Barry Pepper, and so was
Such a great name. Such a great name.
It's great, isn't it?
I love it.
Barry Pepper. I don't know. It just.
Yeah.
It's me, Barry Pepper.
Did Barry
You're
Pepper
not going to change the name? No one said that on day
He
one.
probably changed it to Barry
I bet you
Pepper.
did. People will remember. But every time they sneeze, oh, fuck off, Barry. Something like that. With some
Did
awful
he
advice.
do any other movies?
Barry Pepper is actually got a decent body of work. This
You
film did
recognise it?
him no favours.
Yeah.
Like he had done within a couple of years, he had quite a nice part in Saving Private Ryan, which many people was said was him on the way to bigger and better things, and then he did Battlefield Earth, and it just kind of really derailed him as a potential leading man.
After Saving Private Ryan, he's like, if only I could get the lead in a movie, and the monkey paw goes. Yeah, you get this lead, you fucking idiot.
He played Battlefield Earth as if he was in a war, like a trench. Yeah.
In a lot of the press for this movie, Travolta really sold it, right? And Travolta in the press said, "This film is better than Star Wars: A New Hope," and then said, what we're doing with this film is we've made the Schindler's List of sci-fi.
We're renaming the podcast, guys.
The Schindler's List of sci-fi. Holy moly!
The Schindler's List of sci-fi, and I've got right now. I've got like 4 or 5 jokes in my head, but I don't want to do them.
I love when someone is so out of touch. You know when they get a bit of money and they just lose all grounding? The Schindler's List of sci-fi.
Yeah.
That makes me want to apologise for everything I've said to you guys during the show. I don't know why. It just makes me want to be a better person. They are sequels. I think you're great for a tall guy.
I don't think you said anything mean to me.
None of it's
I
just
wouldn't do that like you.
None of it's just sincere.
It's well, I get the film without knowing too much.
Hold on, can we maybe figure out? Is there a film that is the Schindler's List of sci-fi?
Right, we'll get back to this bastard. Right,
what are those cyclists up to, Billy? The cyclists.
So we've all identified that Tyrell definitely is shagging women. John Travolta is not good in this film, right? And
He's trying, but
he's trying to be the on-brand John Travolta, which some people would turn around and say is on-brand Nicolas Cage.
That's the thing. So when I watched it again, I was like, "This is the Castor Troy performance."
Yeah.
Castor Troy performance. But the great thing about the Castor Troy performance is that it's set up by Nick Cage, and then he takes it over in that way. But this is.
But he does that in Broken Arrow as well. He does that big outsized, like I'm a bad guy who's having fun being a bad guy kind of thing. And it really works in Broken Arrow. It's one of the best bits of it. He's great at being Castor Troy in fucking Face Off. But in this, it's just like it's a swing and a miss.
There's a bit where they all laugh at the end of sentences and like in this thing. And what it reminded me of is like it's like when Lord Flashheart is in Blackadder. And he finishes every sentence, and it's literally they'll go, "Hey, how you doing, Chris?" And then he goes, and other people join in, and it's like that false.
It was supposed to be like, "Oh, aren't these aliens uncomfortable and weird?" And you're like, "Well, that's probably they're just on the spectrum, like but like it also this movie looks." Like it has so much money thrown at it, but it's also so cheap. Like it looks like you can tell there's so much money behind it.
Yeah.
and then but also nothing.
Yeah, so they were making it on, because of the way the funding worked, they were making it on, they were trying to put on what looks like 75 million, right? So they're aiming for stuff, and then they only really had like 20 million, 25 million.
Yeah, because they would have been way below that. They would have been way below that.
Because the budget, because the thing they got sued over was the budget that they declared was 75 million.
Yeah.
There was actually only about 45, and then 12 million of that goes to Travolta. So the budget that they're trying to get these 75 million pound results for was really low. Apparently, Barry Pepper said the food on the set was for Pepper. The food on the set was dreadful, and Travolta shipped in his own private chef to make the food for the crew. So that's the sort of level they're dealing with. Yeah,
I mean that's quite nice, but it's also kind of like, well, you shouldn't be doing that, Johnny. If you know that should be a red flag, as we call them in the biz.
But it's also like, it's John Travolta's film as well. So
John
where's
Travolta's
the line?
That's the thing. He is. I assume.
I've heard about that before. I've heard about like Schwarzenegger doing that and going, "This isn't good enough. I'm gonna bring him on catering guys."
I would imagine that
I think it might be an insurance production. It's probably all tied in some way.
I would imagine that, and I didn't check this, as I should have done. I would imagine that Travolta is a producer on it.
Yeah.
So there'd be another level, or definitely, I imagine L. Ron Hubbard's a producer. I'd imagine they've all got like exec production things. But it's the thing of the tie-in with it, and the way because the film is
John Travolta is a producer on it.
Because the film is labelled with the Scientology elements in it, and there is this psycho versus psychology, and because that fucking batshit crazy Scientology religion is all designed around the fact that his L. Ron Hubbard's aversion to psychiatry was that they reckon he's got bipolar, and it was an aversion to it. That's why you then try. Because they're commenting, because the film is trying to comment on the psychos being psychologists, so that's why they're making them look stupid in it, as opposed to they are bad guys, but they're also making them look like that. And it's like it's the reason you liked Showgirls, was that the film had that knowing element to what it was doing. This is attempting to do that, and again, get it massively wrong in the way they were doing it. That's this one of these things. Whether or not it's true, that's the bullshit theory that has been put onto it afterwards.
Talking about Travolta again, right? And the way he's acting in this film as executive producer. Oh well,
and security chief.
Sorry, he's done as security chief. He's done here as produced by. Right, so a lot of this is what I'm saying about Roger Christensen actually having his hand on the tiller with this film.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I am not. I mean, even looking at the guy's resume, the fact that he's not directed. Hey, listen, everyone needs to start somewhere, but he's got a body of work. He's got a decent foot in the industry.
As a set designer, right?
Yeah, as a set designer, production designer,
skill, though,
and fantastic movies. So he knows how to make something look good, but he doesn't. And through a camera to a degree, but he's not a cinematographer.
I think because it's written by Scientology Jesus, that.
Jesus.
Actually, I don't think we want
just
to get...
Jesus to Rick.
I don't think we want to get into what the Scientologists allegedly believe about Jesus, but look it up.
Don't do it now.
It's not great. It's not great. But the fact is that this book was written. When was this written? Like the 60s?
The book is not.
It's not that old.
Is it not?
It was like 18 years. I think it was like 18.
Because it feels really old-fashioned, right?
Oh, I mean, the covers are. It's like 80s. They were trying to market this to like 80s schoolboys. Like, look at this. There's a spaceman on the cover.
I mean, I actually thought I might quite enjoy this film as a kid. If it had aliens in it, like I would probably just enjoy it.
All right.
But even as a kid, I would have hated this. This is fucking terrible.
This would have bored the piss out of me. It would have absolutely bored the piss out of me. It's not even funny. There's nothing. There's no fluffy things. But normally, like in a sci-fi movie in the 80s, these like snumpkins or something. Or
what I was going to say is,
that.
I assume because it's L. Ron Hubbard, right? That they couldn't make changes. Like it has to be quite slavish to
that's
the...
Very,
you know
that's interesting.
Because, John Travolta's going to be like, no, this is L. Ron Hubbard's work. L. Ron Hubbard's a genius. We're not going to fucking... Whereas I think anyone else would be like, you know, any real filmmaker would be going like, well, can we ditch this? Can we ditch that? And you'll be like, no.
It's like, I don't put any of this on the director really, because I don't think he had much of a say. I think it was more of a puppet. He came from the set deck background. I think they chose that on purpose because they didn't want someone fucking with their story, like you said.
I've got a couple of quotes on the writing of the script. So it cleaned up in the Razzies. It was a guy called J.D. Shapiro.
Who'd done some great work on Robin Hood Men in Tights.
And then he later penned an apology.
Yes, he did. For
this movie.
Fair play.
My screenplay was darker, grittier, and had a very compelling story with rich characters, Shapiro wrote. What my story didn't have was a slow motion at every turn, Dutch stilts, campy dialogue, aliens in kiss boots, and everyone wearing Bob Marley wigs.
Wow.
I also would like to. I would like to retract. He has done other things since. He has directed a couple of other things. No, and with great respect, he's written on quite a few TV series and quite a few films. He's directed a couple of things. I have to say, none of any real note. I just want to say that because I think we're sometimes on this show, and I quite like it. We're almost kind of pulling for the directors after they've been involved with the fucking stinker.
You want someone to pull it back and be like, it's not your fault,
and fucking keep it going. And Roger Christensen, who we don't blame,
no,
but your hands aren't clean.
But also, like, no matter how bad something is shot, to a point, if it has a good story, you forgive it.
Yeah.
So I do think, like, it doesn't matter how this was shot.
Yeah,
the
polishing a
script
tub.
is bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although then he's the same with
tubs.
Travolta. So it's just after he's had the bad news that he's going to be there for another 50 cycles, whatever the fuck that means. And he's in the bar drunk, trying to play this Tyrell drunk. First of all, is ridiculous. And John Travolta is doing his A-grade worst acting you've ever seen.
Drinking that green fucking...
Again, you're green.
Space juice.
Before you learned how to spell your name, I was being bred to conquer galaxies. As you would say, my friend, chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's like
chef's kiss.
Like, that kind of sounds like it should be cool and fun. But like, even you did it then, I was like... That's quite good.
Yeah.
But the actor you want doing that...
It's got to be in the musical.
Yeah, that's
the actor you want doing that is the other one out of Face Off. I'd rather see Nicolas Cage deliver that in a kind of was it Vampire's Kiss?
I think I've seen it.
Have you seen Renfield?
No.
Oh, I fucking really
I've heard
enjoyed
such
it.
good things about it.
It's gory, it's funny, it's pretty. And Nicolas Cage is having a fucking ball. Right. And it is up. There was a proper Nicolas Cage, and you're like, somebody gets it.
And
make him Dracula.
And apparently, it also has like an amazing dialogue about like consent in toxic relationships.
Oh, it's very good.
I did not expect that.
It's very, very good. Give it a chance. But you're right. It almost seems like
it's almost like that's why I said that whole Castor Troy thing with it is that it's like something switched on Face Off in that thing, and he's gone, that's how I want to play it. I want to do what Nick Cage does, and I want to do Vampire's Kiss. I want to do the ABC kind of things, you know.
Do you know, over the last couple of days, I literally, my good lady wife has not been able to make any suggestions without me being Tyrell and spitting out those lines. Really? Pretty much, it's like, what do you want to do for dinner? I was, before you were even able to spell your name, I was making decisions about dinner, and then I'll leave the room. She has never seen Battlefield Earth.
I tell you what, she's seeing a divorce lawyer.
Well, we're clipping that.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll see the problem. But
or the clip.
Yeah. Let me
better things to do.
Let me honey. But totally, she reads books. Nerd.
She read Battlefield.
She gets to do the second half.
She's waiting for the musical.
Yes, 1 ticket sold.
So he is fucking dreadful in this, and then is one of my favourite scenes. Right?
It's not the lizard tongue with Kelly Preston scene.
No.
It's obviously your favourite scene.
It is a funny scene.
Like a sexy flake advert.
We get back to Johnny
80s,
Johnny Goodboy Tyler. I want to start giving him his 3-barrel name. Yeah. So their plan is, so basically Travolta comes up with a plan that what they're going to do is they're going to train the manimals to man animals. Man animals.
Yeah, they're not even smart enough to contract it.
Yeah, they nearly are. You're right enough. I'd been doing that in my head.
Yeah.
But it's like the other day I called somebody said, well, or do men call them boobs? I went, no, I call them manneries.
Nice.
Manneries, there we go. So you take from moobs, just bringing it into a different sort of stratosphere. Look, Travolta's on the phone. But
a man who also has manneries.
Surely mitts.
Oh, I like mitts. I do like mitts. But people call these mitts. Yeah.
Sorry.
You're just testing that one out?
Because I want more names. I don't want to just be like boobs and tits.
Less names.
I want womans. What did you say before?
I said manneries.
Womaneries.
Oh, that's awful, but it's...
Sure. Yeah. Sure, Kate.
As a feminist, what's your take on that?
You're out the feminist club.
I stamped your passport. But so
Welcome aboard.
I'm the security chief.
Welcome aboard. What ship am I on?
Oh, dear Lord. He's gone full Joe Rogan. Quick. Stop him. Somebody stop him.
I just love the idea of Kate being taken on this boat with Rick as a captain. And I'm going like, I didn't agree to this. But Chris is just there clutching a Bible.
Like throwing holy water at me.
Shame.
The power of Christ compels you.
And I'm there going, wouldn't it be funny if Kate was taken onto a boat and it's like, Billy, literally someone just said this. But
it would be mental to be like stuck on a boat if you'd signed a contract for like 1,000 years or something. Anyway, on to this Scientology movie. Boy, oh boy.
So the idea is, so Barry Pepper is put in with the main populace, right? And sorry,
I know every time they say, I get his real name and his character name, I can't help but laugh.
Because Barry Pepper is more sci-fi than Johnny Goodboy Tyler.
Johnny Goodboy Tyler does sound like a stripper. Ladies, clear the stage. Here he comes, Johnny Goodboy Tyler.
He's just a guy, Johnny Goodboy Tyler.
Doesn't Barry Pepper sound like an SNL character? Like there's a name.
yes.
You got Barry Pepper, or some a character that would be played by fucking Adam Sandler.
That comes in on the Weekend Update, and now here to tell us about the new the food festival here in New York. It's Barry Pepper. Woo!
Or a Chris Morris interviewer or something.
That's
a great comedy name.
Yeah, Barry Pepper. Yeah,
in many ways, that is a comedy name in this one.
Yeah.
So he gets put with the populace, right? So it's new fish.
Yeah,
they basically say, hey, listen, this food, this is for my men. Then it's and then maybe your guys can eat. So then Barry Pepper kicks the shit out of him, picks up a hand of food, and he goes, hey. We should have more important things to worry about than killing each other for food when you've literally just killed a guy for food.
And then a young boy comes on and grabs the mush from Barry Pepper's hand and then suckles it. And I was like, I don't know. It didn't disturb you guys nearly as much as me.
You were like, this is a great film. This is the thrills.
I clipped that bit. I sent it to myself, but it disgusted me.
That scene was changed.
Oh, really?
So that scene was changed on the day. Okay, because it was originally written in a way that Barry Pepper said it was written this way, but it just appeared to be cliched.
Oh, wow. So they really improved it.
So they really improved it. So that's why they steered away from it. And that's why that film, that's why it plays out. So basically the idea was the idea that was he would feed the guy and they would share the food, but that's what seemed to be cliche. So that's why so that was an amendment on the
I love how to fix it. They were like, some young actor just got you're now a real character in this film. You got to eat some chewed up oatmeal.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll do it.
That's what
I love
Johnny.
it.
It's very Philip Schofield of him.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Anybody got a number of a young kid that can suck something?
Get on board, kid. Get on board.
Welcome to show business.
This boat. How did I get on this boat?
It's
just you and a lot. No, what did they? That was a semen joke.
I thought it was good.
Holy moly.
Tyrell and Kerry, or as we like to call them, John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker, given the shithouse assignment, they made the decision that they're going to use the man animals to find gold. I just can't get away that Gold's most valuable. They could see nothing wrong with giving them training. So this is what you were talking about, giving them the knowledge to understand them.
Or they're doing something great in Matrix, let's do it.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
I now understand John Travolta. Well, that's good because no one else fucking does.
It's because the whole discussion, is it not like oh, if we need to get gold faster, we'll have to bring in
More
fellow
people.
space aliens,
Yeah.
and we have to pay them.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for like the.
Well, they work for nothing.
But if we get the man animals, train them, they're non-union. We can get them to fucking do it for free.
This gold thing is.
I can see nothing going wrong.
But this
Didn't
gold-
one of them shoot someone the other day? Nah, no, whatever.
Yeah, but that's it. It was like if they can shoot a gun, they can mine and organize gold.
All we need to do, make sure nothing goes wrong, is give one of them lots of knowledge.
All the knowledge.
Now, can I say, right, already, and sorry, right, the creatures aren't the smartest in the world, right? The demons, the cyclos. But this is the beginning of they just, everything is fucking thick from this point on.
The thing with the gold and the quest for gold is the thing that really ties this in to it being a Scientology movie.
Yeah.
Because that's what John Travolta is doing is basically paying to move up to that next level.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's what within Scientology you pay a certain amount.
Yes.
You pay your
That's true,
tithe
that's
and
true.
you move up and through. So
Yeah,
the
it's like
whole-
improv.
No, you move up.
No, also more dignity in being a Scientologist.
If we do,
Yeah.
let's do improv on a Monday night. We'll eventually it's a Saturday night. No, you won't. You're staying on a fucking Monday, bitch.
He's fucking got us there.
But I can't say fuck all. I've not been a Monday Night Improv in 4 months. But,
You're working on a Saturday though.
moving on. But
yeah, that's the whole.
I'm paying to get up to this. Fucking hell, I've got a long way to go.
But yeah, that's that. But that's the whole thing with the whole thing of don't question anything. Do not question. Pay us money, move up. Pay us money, move up. Get to the next level. Get to the next level. That's what the whole thing with the quest of gold. Why they're looking for gold and why they're doing that in order to move on and move up.
Which makes everything they do from this point on
Ridiculous.
It just like everything. These fucking space wombles. I don't quite know what to fucking call them. So they give them all this knowledge in order to.
They shoot a ray. They
I
shoot
love
a ray
this.
in his head,
They
and
think
that
they're
gives them
so
knowledge.
fucking smart, but they can't cut their nails or their fucking hair. Like, it drove me nuts. They have shitty nails the whole way through it.
I mean, dude, you're the one person in this room who shouldn't be complaining about someone not cutting their hair.
Says fuck you. At least
You've got the same hair.
my hairline's where it should be, but the thing is,
I also, sorry, one guy gets all the knowledge. They rip him out.
Yeah.
And then he goes, no, I've learned everything. Puts himself back in. The other two run away. And I'm like, sorry, is no one else allowed to sit in the magic knowledge chair?
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason why anything else happens. And all the knowledge is stored in Barry fucking Pepper.
and they teach him to fly.
Oh, I mean,
They teach him like there's actually about where he. I fucking love this. So they teach him to fly, which is ridiculous, right? And then they go, "Hey, we're gonna keep an eye on you, though. We're gonna keep a fucking eye on you.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be? A camera or a live feed? No, it's gonna be a GoPro that takes one picture every 3 fucking hours.
There's
They think a dog is
the
smart.
whole this whole section of the film.
Yeah.
I think is a hastily written. I'm personally, I've not read the book. I'm going to take a guess. This is where it really segues away from the book because I think this is all influenced by the success of Matrix, and that's where the knowledge comes from. That's where there's a weird relationship between Barry Pepper becomes Neo in this thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And then you lead into, and I think that's what they've had a look at it and gone. We're not Star Wars now. We've got to look at what the next big movie is, and that was they're a couple of years after this.
So it's a bit that makes me howl with laughter in this bit. Proper made me laugh and it shouldn't have. And well, bless it, my good lady wife came in and caught me laughing at this bit, which was an odd bit, but I was proper howling. So to come back to Barry Pepper. I don't know if I can call him Johnny Goodboy anymore. I don't know. What's
Either
going
one's going to still make me laugh.
So they make the decision that they're going to let them go. And randomly, someone has a fight and gets the weapon of John Travolta, who can't be beaten, but he can be beaten from behind. So it could have phrased that better.
He certainly can.
Gets the gun off, and Barry Pepper takes it and gives him it back. and is this act is repaid with the fact that Barry Pepper's girlfriend, she was something to do at the start of the film, and then randomly there she is. They'll put exploding collars on them, which is kind of from The Running Man and Battle Royale.
No, what's the Rutger Hauer movie?
Wedlock.
Wedlock. Yeah, I remember that being.
I'll say even before this, like, okay, the one thing this movie does have is so much going on, because before this there's a whole other part where they let them go, watch them eat rats, discover they know what cameras are, then bring them back, then let them go again.
That's right.
Holy shit, there's so much that happens, and none of it works.
The bit that made me laugh though was when he started randomly shooting cows' legs off.
Oh my god, yeah.
Boom, boom, and it just made me laugh. I want to see what they're all looking at, because even the characters in it are kind of like...
But especially because you know that the group of people can't understand him, so he goes, "I'll prove it," and then just starts shooting off. You think he's gonna shoot the cows in the head? No, just the legs. Come shooting
and you
off.
appear to be able to shoot people's hands off without them feeling pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Does it cauterize the wound as it goes through? Does
Forrest Whitaker loses a hand?
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Doesn't react.
And then he loses his arm at the end as well.
Yeah.
This is a good movie.
It just made me
Are
laugh.
you being convinced?
We didn't fight. We didn't die. We fought, which is meant to be one of the big stirring lines. The score swells up, and everyone in the movie kind of likes going. Do you ever think the cast start looking a bit fed up? Like, you see the additional cast that are kind of acting around them. Like Barry Pepper starts delivering lines, and they're kind of like, cool, man.
So what the other thing that this didn't have, that you kind of go when you think of great sci-fi movies and things like that, the fucking score is awful.
Yeah, score's not great.
It's dreadful.
It's not great.
It doesn't do anything you want with you. You can dress up a bad movie with like a really good score. Score can make Score made Jaws. Do you know what I mean? You put a different score on Jaws and it doesn't kind of work.
Or yakety sax or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
From Twins.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Just as you're coming up to the legs.
Call me Spielberg. I've got some ideas. I know Williams is retired. I'm your guy.
But yeah, this is. It's not even one of those films that's like of its time where it's got like a Tangerine Dream kind of thing. It's got the potential to do. The Matrix was a good score. And it just doesn't pull out anything. Any word.
See, I might have missed this because I was watching this while smacking my fucking head and being like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." See when they bring Johnny Goodboy's wife?
Yes. Which doesn't sound like it's a real thing. That marriage is a fraud.
I don't think they're married. They're just dating.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I mean, I've been. Yeah. I just think those kids should just commit to each other, right? Be Mrs. Goodboy. But did I miss something where because the alien, like John Travolta's like, "Aha! I've got your girlfriend."
Yes.
Right. And if you don't do what I want, she's got the Running Man wedlock collar.
Yeah.
Is there a bit where he finds out who she is? Because he just seems to get it from nowhere.
She just appears. Just gets from nowhere.
Right. It wasn't. I thought maybe I just zoned out.
So I assume there must have been the insinuation is because she leaves the original place that it starts and gets on a horse. And I assume that there must have been an off-screen scene where she went, "I'm looking for Johnny Goodboy," and they went, "Which one?" And they went, "Oh, it's Johnny Goodboy Tyler." And I went, "We know who he is. He's the guy that can speak the aliens' language."
Or just was found. There's a big chunk missing, but then they go, "Oh, you don't know her? Well, she has this drawing of her that you did. Somehow we know that you're a good artist."
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's a really dumb, weird thing.
It's not. It's just. I mean, it's just classic bad movie thing to have the bad guy go. Do you know what I mean? It's it's like it's Hans Gruber with Holly.
It would be great if John Travolta was like, "I've got your girlfriend," and he's like, "I don't know this. Like that's not her."
If it was the wrong person.
That's not her. She's like, blow this chick up. I don't give a fuck.
Imagine it was one of those. Like, oh fuck. I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
You sure, Johnny Goodboy? You seemed a little. No, I have no idea who she is.
Actually, there was a whole bit at the start where he was like, "Man, I really need to dump her. I wish I could get out of this." And then he's like, "Aha!" And he's like, "What?"
I love how they
The
try
only way
and
I'm going
make
to
her...
get rid of this girl is when her head blows up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they might have been
the monkey paw.
There might have been a chance that someone ran in once again. We could do with putting some more women in the film, and John Travolta went, "How dare you? How dare you?"
As
John
I say,
Travolta's like, gross.
She's the only actual female character other than the secretary that John Travolta goes, she's perfect, she's an idiot. Here, she also did the finances, and then her tongue is long and
Yeah.
licks his whole body.
That's played by his wife.
That's his wife. That's Kelly Preston.
So when all this goes on, when all this goes on, right?
Can I just
I'm
comment
also
on,
shocked.
Please do.
I just need to comment on that scene
Yeah.
because there's an amazing that
Was
whole,
that her real tongue?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Calm yourself down, Hammer.
Was
All
that-
right.
was that her real tongue?
And they're not together anymore, right? Okay, interesting.
So there's an amazing so that scene again that's an improvised scene that was written for the film. Okay, wait, not but like on set.
Okay.
The line that she says as she's seducing him is incredible. 'Cause she
Imagine I was a guy.
Whatever the drink is. Right, the drink is called like Kalolaba or something, the beer
Right,
thing,
the
and
space
she says something like, "You're as giddy as a baby on Kalolaba,"
Oh, okay.
and it's like, right, okay, so you're.
But he's a man on
I'm gonna
Kalolaba.
lick you.
I'm not here to kink shame, but come on.
I'm gonna lick you, but you're gonna be as drunk as a baby. That's the. It's a
I always,
really.
I always think it's probably a bad idea to bring up babies when you're trying to be sexy. No, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
hey guys, do you know you want to start thinking about? Babies.
Yeah, not good. But I will be honest, the CGI on that tongue was actually really good.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah.
We
I
get
don't
it.
know.
All right.
I just saw it with it once, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
No, but it was. It did feel like sometimes
yeah.
there'd be these odd moments. You're like,
That's where John Travolta's 14 million
seriously,
went.
seriously. You're like, why are the lasers so bad? This tongue is actually okay.
I didn't realize that.
Can we just clip off
Can we come on that? Yeah.
Kate saying this tongue is okay?
The tongue was okay.
tongue was okay. Come on.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Can I say, but the next time we do a taping, that's everyone's ringtone. Just the tongue was okay. Excuse me. Hello. But that's the whole thing. Like, what do they do when they're making this plan and they realize that the creatures are smart, or the man animals are smart, and they can fly? They can fly the spaceships now. They can shoot guns. What do? They go and get some cyclopussy. Is what they do. They run off, and that is what they do. Despite the fact, yeah.
At this point, is this the point where he takes him to a library?
Yeah, he takes him to a library,
yeah.
and the line is, "This is all your history, but it will do you. No, it will give you no help."
But
And
they
then
don't.
he
They don't believe you can fire a fucking gun, right? They don't believe you can fire. They've got no. The aliens do not have an idea
Yeah.
that within a 2,000 year period that this culture has existed. They do not know the planet. They do not know. They're mining for gold, and they don't fucking know Fort Knox exists.
Yep.
The whole.
This is where they start coming across as really fucking stupid. Like, really, none of the things they say make any sense. Like,
Well, that's
none
why-
of them give you any help. How the fuck would you know? You haven't read it.
Yeah. But when he takes him to the library, it's like, this is a whole host of like human knowledge. And it's not going to do any good because we destroyed your military in 9 minutes. And I'm just going to leave you here. Hopefully you won't discover anything that'll help you. Bye.
We destroyed most of the military. We left you with the planes.
Yeah.
Well, we got to come to the fucking planes, haven't we? So they head off and find 6 Harrier jets. I think it is 6 Harrier jets.
This is the bit where I laughed. I
just-
found this
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
well, talk us through the scenario.
Oh
Talk
no,
us through-
just when it was like, we can, in that line in dialogue in the last Star Wars movie everyone made fun of, where like, they fly now.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when it was like these dumb humans suddenly have like 6 attack fucking
they-
planes,
they find-
fighter jets.
6 immaculate fighter jets.
Yeah.
Which can also effectively take down the entire cyclone.
Can I point out that those fighter jets will have sat unused for approximately 950 years. Right? Okay, have you left your car alone for 3 weeks
Yeah.
and just been like, fuck, the fucking
Come on, the handbrake's sticking.
right? And yet these fighter jets have sat there for 950 years, so not been flown, and out of what would have dropped out of all human knowledge is how to fly a fucking plane.
No, Rick, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Oh.
Johnny Goodboy Pepperami. He read the
read the manual.
instruction manual. They couldn't find Exhibit A. They found it.
Oh, was that not for just a missile? when he finds is that a cruise missile?
Chris, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I think you might be right.
I mean, listen, it's tough because it's really hard to concentrate in this film. Like, I genuinely was like, at one point I was like, did the other guys get any knowledge raised?
No.
Which doesn't make sense. They're like, you're an idiot, but actually we've made you smart, but you're still all idiots.
They
you can also fly planes.
They learn how to fly planes. They are like essentially a caveman race now because they don't have any. They don't even know that planes existed, let alone that flight is fucking possible.
But
at this point.
Johnny Goodboy has sort of mavericked them into like learning how to fly.
Wow.
He's a genius.
Wow. How the fuck did you manage to bring Tom Cruise into this film?
It's a Scientology movie.
I knew it.
It's a Scientology movie now. Now it's a Scientology movie.
Do you know something? We'll rattle through the last remnants of the storyline, and then we can finish ripping this bastard apart because I think there's loads of bits we want to get to. So the idea is they basically concoct. They find Fort Knox, which is the famous line with how the lead keep it. That's
brilliant. It is
the lead keep it from the machines.
We need to pretend that we've been mining for gold when we've really been learning how to fly, and they've not seen. But at no point has an alien been like, "Hey, there's been like fucking 6 fucking Harrier jets flying about."
As they're flying to Fort Knox, which we assume he's only read about in the library when he was left alone, we didn't see it, right?
Or he's seen Goldfinger.
And then
imagine there was that scene when he just started watching DVDs or whatever. Look at this.
and then
Just that you get plugged in the back of your head and you go, I know kung fu now. Right?
yeah.
Oh, I know pussy galore now.
And as they're flying, someone goes, "We can't be in Washington. We didn't cross any of these lines." And it's one of those parts where they're like, "Oh my God," because in the future you wouldn't understand maps don't actually have lines. And you're like, you can't pick and choose when you're going to decide what world this is.
You're smart enough to fly planes though. But
So
you can't
they come up with a plan that basically they find out that the home planet of the Cyclos has an explosive atmosphere. Right, so they come up with a plan that they're going to basically send a bomb through the transporter.
Yeah, there's a teleporting thing, which looks terrible as well.
Which comes out of fucking nowhere. That there's a transporter, and it's like, so...
No, they do teleport somebody earlier on.
Oh, you're right, they do. I beg your pardon, they do.
To give the screenwriter of Men in Tights his due, he lays some pipe at the start of the film.
You got Men in Tights and the follow-up Cunts in Boots.
That's a different film, man.
That would be a much better film, I feel. So they come up with a plan. They attack the Cyclos. Miss Johnny Goodboy is a bit more involved suddenly out of nowhere as well. She becomes a part of it. The Travolta loses an arm.
Miss Johnny Goodboy. She has a name.
Yeah, no one can remember no lines.
I beg your pardon.
Remember it.
I legitimately did not know she had a name. I legitimately did not know.
She's got your dad's dead.
Yeah.
And then, I don't need you. I'm an adult. I'm going to find him. And then she doesn't speak again. Just nothing.
And actually fucks it all up. Like by being caught as well, like I'm an adult, I can get out there, and then 2 seconds later, die. So
they basically queef a bomb back to the planet. Man animals win. John Travolta's locked up in first of all, Forrest Whitaker becomes a good guy.
Yep.
Teams. Well, I was always all right, wasn't I? I was like, it's always all right. He's always like quite good with HR and stuff like that.
And he played it well because you could tell his character was a bit dumb.
Yeah.
He was like, my boss has got me again, you know?
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, great, there's a change because once you've seen that the man animals have abilities, it should change. Wow.
So they think they're people.
They keep John Travolta alive in a cage in Fort Knox surrounded by gold. How ironic that the gold he wanted he finally had but couldn't use. Do you get it? He's got the gold but he can't use it.
Screenplay 101.
Did you get it? He's got the gold but he can't use it.
Oh my God,
Wait,
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Credits roll.
Yeah.
Happy hunting, cunts. This film... Did anyone start the film going like, it can't be that bad?
I did. I genuinely thought like it'll be shit, but it'll maybe be kind of goofy fun. Like I kind of expected it to be quite pulpy, and I would be like, this is dumb, but like the fact that John Travolta really believes in it. Like sometimes if you watch something and it's shit, but it's
maybe he'll be all right.
Like I can at least enjoy that he's trying something here.
Did you see this the first time?
No, I think I saw it on. I would have seen it at some point, like before 2010,
Right.
in on like DVD.
So it's a decent recent memory that you did not like this, or when you were coming
So I
back
knew-
to it,
I-
did you even hope it was
I knew-
kitschy kind of?
I knew
okay.
I knew it was shit. The other film I was thinking about picking
Right.
was the Wicker Man remake.
Oh, I wish you picked that. You'd have loved that, Kate.
Yeah.
The Wicker Man remake. But
Is there a tongue?
the
It's bees.
it's bees.
You know
it's that one.
your two favorite things: tongue and bees.
Tongue and bees.
But I went with this because I knew that this was god awful, and I just
And you were right.
You were right.
and I just knew that I wasn't sure about the Wicker Man. I know there's because it's all the Wicker Man. The worst thing about the Wicker Man is the bees, the end scene, and I just didn't. It's such an incredibly.
Yeah, I've
It's
not
such an
seen it.
incredibly misjudged, terrible scene at the end. But I couldn't remember how bad the rest of the film was because it's been ages since I've seen it.
That's the thing, and I kind of said it earlier. Like sometimes films will get a degree of fandom to
Yeah.
them, or they kind of go. Even the Wicker Man remake in its
Is that
own
not
way.
Neil LaBute or somebody as well? Is that not somebody quite good? Like somebody like Neil LaBute that directed? It's like,
Is it really?
I'm sure it's somebody quite good.
The Wicker Man remake. I think it is. He directed. Oh God, what did he direct?
Neil LaBute
Sorry.
did Company of Men. Is it Company of Men? It's called.
Yeah.
Company of Wolves?
In the Company of.
So,
yeah,
the-
he's a
Company
good
of Wolves,
filmmaker.
I think it's company. Is it?
This film has never had any form of second life at all.
So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
It's
sounds
sort-
mad, but I'm not particularly integrated with the Scientology
It's
community.
it's
For all I
sort
know,
of-
this is what they put on every Christmas.
Sort of-
You'd be more successful in show business if you were.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
sort of
right.
trying to get there.
Tell me about it.
It's
I'm available, guys.
there is this thing that, and again, so I don't think the class. I mean, I get them of recent times.
Okay.
The classic bad movie that everyone watches and like there's a join-in
Yeah,
element
yeah,
to
yeah,
it is The Room, where people.
I get that. Yeah.
And I just don't think that.
This isn't funny. It's not even like.
No,
There's no
it's-
point in your lap going, this is. The closest was that one scene where I just went, "Pfft, John, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, spell your name. It just made it made me laugh, but for all the wrong reasons. It's like, he might actually be pissed during this scene.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this scene is. Or the bit with the tongue, they go, it's quite a funny scene in its own way. If
Yeah,
only
like
there
if
was
it
a
was
little
all
more
like
of
that.
that in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
And
this movie was the biggest crime, which is it was fucking boring.
And then people shooting cows' legs off.
Yeah, and
God,
so-
I wanted to see those legs.
I want to see the legs, man.
Yeah, it's that thing of like the films. Some of the films we picked, like
Legs.
you know, we go to like Cats. We know Cats is awful.
Yeah.
we know Cats is awful. We know Jack and Jill. That, and then I think Jack and Jill's got the record for Razzies. So you kind of go with that. This. So I just knew this. I knew this was terrible, but this is just.
Yeah,
All right. So out the films we've watched, okay. So
Okay.
where'd you right? So where'd you? Do you right? So
Oh
we,
my, what an idea. That's an
No,
idea.
I think this is the worst film I've ever seen.
That's an idea.
Okay,
Maybe
so
that's
I-
something
Yeah,
we'll do in
right.
series 2. Maybe we need a little.
we need like the Top Gun
move
character.
around.
Yeah,
Opposite of
yeah.
a leaderboard.
Oh man,
So where would you put this? So we started with Master of the Universe. Would you rather watch this or Master of the Universe?
Masters of the Universe.
Okay, Star Wars.
Christmas special?
Yeah.
Would rather watch that.
You'd rather watch Star Wars Christmas Special?
Yes.
Okay.
Cats.
Cats. What do you think about Cats?
I really don't like cats.
I never saw Cats, so I can't.
Have you ever
like
seen?
Cats.
Never seen Cats?
Never seen.
I think
You
I
need to go
would
away
be
and watch
more
Cats.
likely
That's my
to.
homework.
I would
Yeah.
be more likely to watch this.
Oh, really? Is it
Maybe.
that bad?
Cats is there's a
I get what? How long is Cats again? It's 2.5.
Cats is like 2.5 hours
Oh,
long.
This is only
Jesus.
2.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Wow.
That's,
It's
that's
no business being that length either.
no.
okay. So we did Cats. Showgirls.
Oh, do you know? I'd probably have more fun watching Showgirls. I could
boy,
phrase that
Billy.
better. I think we'll
Yeah, phrase it better.
with it being
I'd
a
be more
feminist
intellectually
masterpiece.
stimulated watching
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
again.
Well, this I
boy.
find.
And then
I find this sequence in the pool to be exactly what my soul needs.
And then we are. And then we are.
Well,
then
mate.
we are. Are we Jack and Jill after that? Was it Jack and Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack and Jill.
Got the Al Pacino jokes, man. The Al Pacino jokes are great.
It's,
But at least there was bits that you kind of like. As much as I disliked Jack and Jill and all the quite toxic nature of it,
Yeah.
at least there was bits they went,
Pacino-
well,
So,
that's an attempt to
I-
be funny. That's
found-
a joke. That's a bit.
But I
The
found-
diarrhea bit, at least it's an attempt.
I found Jack and Jill at points needlessly offensive.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Like the bits where they're dealing with like the homeless guy and the Thanksgiving
That's just
stuff
that
and stuff like
off
that.
color.
Gardener.
Yeah.
That's just that off color
Yeah,
comedy
yeah.
that Adam Sandler
Oh.
feels like he needs to put into these films.
Yeah. this. I mean, there's no joy in any of those fucking. That's the problem with this fucking podcast. There's no joy in any of those films.
Jesus Christ.
Just wait. That's why we do that's why we do so many of the live shows. We're gonna do more.
Just to keep Rick alive.
I think this is probably hands
I've never
down.
seen him so sad.
Yeah, I think this hands.
I did it. I fuck me for doing it. Fuck me for picking this film.
I
fuck
think,
you for like. Fuck. I tell you what. Fuck Chris Thorburn for not being here.
Yeah, fuck Chris Thorburn.
He's played it very well.
He has played
He's pulled at me doing cats.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the first film which is almost completely unredeemable.
Yeah.
It just like.
But you still prefer it to Cats.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fucking hated Cats.
Yeah.
I could never. Right, I'll put it to you this way. I've watched this twice now. Don't get me wrong, there was a 20-year gap. I have watched this twice now. I watched Cats once and I will never watch Cats again. Even
you
if
just
they
don't get what a Jellicle cat is what a Jellicle cat does. You know?
Yeah.
And if you got that,
I mean, I'm assuming that's a quote from the thing.
I should not be looking to you for support on this.
sorry, I mean,
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hands down,
I mean, it does make me want to see it.
I think for the first time in a little while, this is the first hands down. We all fucking hated
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's
We
horrendous.
all fucking hated this. They
Even
should-
look at the poster, like it's so bad
Even
and
the poster
boring.
looks shit.
Yeah,
It's
It looks,
sad.
the whole thing looks like the sort of shit TV show I would have watched in
Yes.
1992.
Yes.
Like a really
You know
low
what it is?
budget.
It's fucking sliders.
It looks like-
You've just nailed it. This should have been
So
the
I-
Sky One.
Yeah.
I think it looks like V.
Oh, but V was was V good or was I just a child?
Yeah, you were a child.
God damn
Yeah.
it! I
You were a
really
child.
like that.
Yeah, you were a child.
You can never go home again.
Yeah. And the remake of
Never done
it.
it.
The past is a different country.
Take-
No, those are-
Did you
those
notice
are
they
the-
got to put the title "Take Back the Planet"?
Yeah.
Who? Who's taking back the planet?
It did
This
feel
looks like
like-
we don't win.
Johnny Goodboy.
This
Yeah.
looks like we don't win.
Yeah.
Is he the hero?
But also, this is the most American film. Like, even in the sci-fi thing, it's all Americans being like, and he opens the Declaration of Independence, and it's about like, we fought for our freedom. Like, it really is, and that's maybe.
when he finds
I
it. I laughed
forgot
when he found the Declaration of
all
Independence in the
about
library.
God.
That was pretty good.
So maybe it doesn't just resonate. Maybe, I think maybe in some American audiences, they'd be like, whoa, yeah.
I mean, it is.
Don't
Just to break
tell.
down, just to break down that scene for a second, right? So you have guys that are taking on a lot, right? With this guy going, we're going to fly planes, we're going to get gold and all this. And there's this bit of paper that these guys signed, what, would it have been at that point like nearly 3,000 years ago or something?
No.
Or 2,000 years ago?
No, it'd be like
It'd be 1,000 and in fact, it'd be 1,100 years ago.
So,
Something like that.
yeah, and it's just, where's that one guy going like,
Yeah.
man, I just want a better life. I don't want to eat gruel. I don't want to eat gruel. I don't want to have
Also,
to eat
can-
out Forrest Whitaker's
Yeah.
asshole. I don't want to do any of those things.
I'd do that.
What
I
kind
know
of? What's that? What,
I remember what
I
you
respect
do.
the man's craft.
I remember what you would do just for a story about Al Pacino.
Yeah, fucking
Thank you very
right.
much.
just the fact
listen.
that parchment has lasted that long as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
But also, I'm sorry,
oh, there's electricity in it. At one point, there's a whole sequence.
Oh, because he turns on a projector.
Generator,
There's
accidentally.
yeah.
there's electricity, and you go, how's this here?
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole sequence of
So,
like.
so
lights.
again, right? If there's electricity on the planet, the aliens don't know that and can't utilize it. And at no point, if someone goes, hey, at one point they fucking had electricity. I mean, that's something that took our fucking species quite a long time to learn.
But also, they're so technologically advanced, they destroyed all of Earth's military in 9 minutes, right? So
7 of that was Glasgow, mate.
Fucking right, man. Your ball bags. All that shit, right? But, so they're so technologically advanced, but they still need, like, slaves to, like, get gold, I guess, right? I don't know. Are they panning for gold? Are they chipping for gold? I don't know.
Oh, you're right.
Are they going? They're going for gold. They're doing a.
They would have a machine. Like, realistically, if these aliens were so advanced, like, right, okay.
yeah.
I know where the gold is.
Yeah.
Send the gold digging machines that can do it in record
They
time.
can transport matter between planets,
Yeah.
right? But they can't find
They can't,
gold.
they, can't
But
find,
how-
they can't find a pile of gold in a pile of gold.
How else are you going to
Gold
make a
in a gold
movie
stack, yeah.
about white people feeling oppressed?
Oh, actually, is everyone in it white? Like
Except for Forrest Whitaker.
all the humans that are left.
Oh my god! You know, well, I don't see color, so I haven't really noticed. But I will go back and watch because I'm genuinely. I mean, we'd be a melting pot of humanity by then. So I don't know if that's...
Do we come out white?
I don't know. That's kind of... But that again is a failing.
Crossed.
No.
Yeah. That's again a failing with the film. Doesn't matter.
Again,
Please do not put that out.
Comedy Club.
We are
You've
really
got a first
going.
cut. You're on the boat. Me and Chris are fine. Put on the dinghy.
Bye.
Away to Arran. All right, we're going to start a new life here.
Yeah.
Chris knows where the gold is. A lot of fun talking about it. More fun than watching the film, guys. I've got to say, hands down.
If you're like watching this and you haven't seen the film, why would you? But that's mental.
Yeah.
But don't think,
All right,
this is so bad, I should watch this.
Right,
Don't do it to
all right,
yourself.
so here, one question for everyone.
Go on,
One last question for everyone. Okay. Out of all the films you watched, if you had to recommend one for someone to go and watch, honestly, which would you pick?
Masters of the Universe. And it's just because it's kind of catchy and 80s and just that is all I've got with that one, I'm afraid.
Cats.
I don't think you've seen that one.
No, I haven't.
No.
Cats, because I think you can turn it to a drinking game. And it is one of the,
I like that.
do wonder,
I like that.
all these films, we're watching them alone. If we watch them together, I think there is, like,
Oh my
fun
God, one actual idea.
And
Yeah.
also so we can keep an eye on Rick so he doesn't kill himself during one of these
Honestly,
films.
this one has genuinely broken me on the concept of this fucking podcast.
Rick, you just don't get, this is the Schindler's List of sci-fi.
Well,
That's
it
it.
is.
That's it,
That's going to be, I'll tell you this now, that will not be put in the blurb.
Can we do Schindler's List next? Can we do Schindler's List?
No, we're not doing Schindler's List next. We're not doing Schindler's List next. We'll leave that for a live show. Right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. It's been a lot of, like I say, generally a lot more fun talking about this film than silly watching it. Don't forget to follow everyone on the social medias. Chris Scott, Kay Hammond, and of course Rick Molland. What is the next film? Well, Daddy's back. And Daddy gets to pick. So, this is one that I know might put Rick over the edge because he knows what it is. We are going all the way back to the 80s, my friends. You might remember how much E.T. was a quite frank pop culture phenomenon, but you might not remember when McDonald's funded an ill-fated rip-off called Mac and Me. That will be the film we're doing next. So, congratulations on behalf of everyone for making it through.
I'm going to try and get COVID.
You're going to try and get COVID. Rick is going to be licking some poles around the town.
Oh, I have a tongue. If it was.
She's got a gift with it. She's got a tongue gift.
You've got a tongue. He's seeing Jack Ryan. You're getting COVID. Everybody, what a great time.
Wait, I'm giving up as well. Look out for the Fringe 2024 for the start of Battlefield Earth, the musical. Sorry, Kate.
7% on Rotten Tomatoes, Mac
This
and
was
Me.
3. This was
is
3. So we're definitely getting better.
Can I say ballistic? What's it called?
X versus Server.
X versus Server is apparently the worst rated film on Rotten Tomatoes.
We're going to
It's
set
got to
out.
be on the list.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Make sure to follow the details in the link tree, and we're going to be doing some live shows and stuff soon later on in the year. This has been Watch Bad Movies, Great Comedians. We'd like to apologise. Very good night. Happy hunting, my friends.